Remember how this all started? Just 30 years ago. Think about that. Only 30 years. We had no idea if other stars even had planets. We looked up at the sky and saw loneliness. Textbooks said the solar system might be a unique case. And then the floodgates opened. In '95, we found the first planet. Then a dozen. Then we launched the Kepler telescope, and the numbers went crazy. Today, the count has passed 5,500 confirmed worlds, with even more candidates waiting. And news headlines scream at us every week. Second Earth found. Perfect home for life. We are not alone. They sell us a pretty picture. Blue oceans, green forests, fluffy clouds. We look at this NASA concept art and think, all right, time to pack our bags. If it gets too hot here, we'll just move. But here's the catch. When astronomers say Earth-like planet, they only mean two dry numbers, size and mass. That's it. They don't mean you can breathe there. They don't promise there's water. And no one guarantees that the moment you step on the surface, you won't turn into ash in a split second. The truth is, the universe turned out to be a much crazier place than we imagined. We found thousands of planets similar to Earth in size, but in reality, they are monsters. These are worlds where it rains glass, where the sun never rises or sets, but hangs eternally in one spot, scorching a desert in the middle of a frozen hell. I've chosen the 5 most famous Earth twins, the ones we pin our highest hopes on. We're going to take them apart atom by atom. We're going down to the surface. We're going to see who, if anyone, could live there. And spoiler alert, what we find there looks nothing like home. Let's start with a classic. The one closest to us. Proxima Centauri b. Why does everyone talk about it? Because it's our neighbor. It's only 4.2 light years away. In cosmic terms, that's literally right next door. If we ever learned to fly at even 20% the speed of light, we could get there in a single generation. Here's why scientists got so excited. Its mass is about 1.17 Earths. That's almost a perfect hit. It's a solid, rocky world. Not a gas giant, not an ice chip. Real, solid ground beneath your feet. But here is where the drama begins. It orbits Proxima Centauri. That's a red dwarf. Red dwarfs are the most common stars in the galaxy, but they are, how do I put this gently, drama queens. This star is small, dim and cold. To get any warmth, the planet has to huddle right up next to it. A year on Proxima b lasts just 11 days. Imagine celebrating New Year's every week and a half. It is in the so-called Goldilocks zone, where water can be liquid. But there's a problem. This planet is tidally locked. Imagine holding a friend by the hands and spinning them around you. They are always facing you. Proxima b always shows the same face to its star. On one side, eternal day, eternal noon, eternal scorching heat. On the other, eternal night, eternal ice, eternal darkness. The climate there is madness. Climate models done by guys at the UK Met Office show that life is possible only in one thin strip, the Terminator. The border between light and shadow, eternal twilight. Hurricane force winds blow there because the hot air from the dayside rushes to the cold side. But the wind isn't the scariest part. Proxima Centauri is a flare star. In 2017, astronomers recorded a flare that increased the star's brightness 1,000 times in a few seconds. If you were standing on the surface at that moment, well, let's just say your tan would turn lethal. The planet is constantly showered with hard X-rays and UV radiation. The radiation there is hundreds of times higher than on Earth. If there is water, it evaporated from the day side ages ago. On the night side, it turned into glaciers kilometers thick. Most likely, the day side is a burnt rocky desert, like Mars but hotter. And the night side is Antarctica on steroids. But in the twilight zone, there might be liquid lakes, strange dark lakes under a red sky. Now let's get imaginative, based on biology. Could anyone live there? If yes, they don't look like us. To survive the radiation showers, local wildlife might be underwater. Water is great at blocking radiation, but if they came onto land, scientists like Lisa Kaltenegger from the Carl Sagan Institute suggest that life there might use biofluorescence. Imagine creatures that glow neon red or green to process harmful UV rays into safe light. Plants that aren't green. The star gives off very little blue light, but lots of infrared. Chlorophyll is useless there. Local plants are likely black or dark maroon. They try to absorb every scrap of light that reaches them. And the main thing, animals there wouldn't have daily rhythms. There is no day and night cycle. They never sleep, or they sleep taking turns with different halves of their brain, like dolphins, because the predators never sleep either. Okay, Proxima is a loner. Now imagine a system that looks like the cover of a 70s sci-fi novel. The TRAPPIST-1e system. It's not one planet. It's 7 planets, packed so tight that if you stood on the surface of one, you'd see the others in the sky not as dots, but as huge disks the size of the moon. You could see clouds on the neighboring planet with your naked eye. We are interested in TRAPPIST-1e, the 4th planet from the star. This is probably the most accurate Earth analog in terms of specs. Gravity is slightly weaker, so you'd feel a bit lighter. The star TRAPPIST-1e is an ultra-cool dwarf. It's only the size of Jupiter. It is red, dim, and hangs in the sky like a giant crimson ball. Planet Air sits right in the middle of the habitable zone. But here we have the same problem as Proxima. It's likely facing the star with one side. However, unlike Proxima, this system is older and more stable. There is hope that it kept its atmosphere. The climate is eternal. Eternal twilight, eternal sunset. The sun never moves. Recent density data hints that TRAPPIST-1e might be very dry, or the opposite, completely covered by an ocean. But let's imagine it's a rocky world. Because the neighboring planets fly so close, they yank on each other with gravity. This causes tidal heating. The surface might be riddled with volcanoes. Not as violent as on Io, but constant geological activity is good. Imagine black cliffs bathed in crimson light, and geysers shooting into a sky where 3 other giant planets hang. What about life? There is very little light here. Noon on TRAPPIST-1e is about as bright as Earth right after sunset. Local animals would need huge eyes, just giant, like lemurs or deep sea fish, to catch every single photon. Or they are blind. Forests on TRAPPIST-1e might be pitch black, or even transparent, acting like fiber optics to conduct light deep into their tissues. Black forest under a red sun, and silence broken only by the sound of wind and volcanoes. Now let's fly further out. 1,400 light years, to where Kepler 452b is waiting for us. When they found it in 2015, NASA called it Earth's older cousin. And that nickname wasn't given for nothing. This is a super-Earth. Diameter 1.6 times Earth's. But the mass is likely 5 times that of Earth, and that changes everything. Gravity there is twice as strong as ours. Imagine you weigh 80 kilos now. There, you'd weigh 160. Every step is a workout. Lifting your arm is a struggle. If you fall from your own height there, the chance of breaking bones is double what it is here. The star Kepler 452 is a yellow dwarf, G2 class, exactly like our Sun. That's rare. Usually we find planets around red dwarfs, but here, a full-blown analogue of the Sun. The light spectrum is the same. The sky, if there's an atmosphere, is blue. Plants, if they exist, are green. It would seem this is paradise, habitable zone and climate. But there's a nuance: age. This system is 1.5 billion years older than ours. Stars get brighter as they age. The sun of Kepler 452 shines 10% brighter than ours. The planet gets more energy. Scientists fear that a runaway greenhouse effect has already started there, the same thing that happened to Venus. The oceans could have boiled away. Water vapor rose into the atmosphere, creating a thick blanket, and the temperature spiked to 400 degrees. If the catastrophe already happened, it's a burnt-out pressure cooker with 100 atmospheres of pressure where lead melts. But if the planet held out thanks to its mass and volcanoes, its terrain should be flatter than Earth's. Because of the strong gravity, high mountains there simply crumble under their own weight. If anyone survived there, gravity dictated their shape. Forget giraffes. Forget tall trees. Everything there has to be stocky, low and powerful. Trees, thick as barrels, no higher than a couple of meters, with a massive root system. Animals, many-legged. The atmosphere is dense, so maybe there are sky whales, creatures filled with light gas, floating around. LHS 1140b, fresh news, hot off the press from the James Webb telescope. For a long time, we thought it was just a rock. But 2024 data changed the game. The planet's density turned out to be lower than pure rock. That means one thing: there is a lot of water there. It orbits a calm star in the constellation Cetus. Tidal locking again. One side looks at the star. Unlike Proxima, there seems to be a global ocean here, and here is the picture drawn by models from scientists at the University of Montreal. The night side is an ice shell, endless ice, and on the day side, the ice has melted. Right in the pupil, exactly where the star is at its zenith, there is a huge round ocean. It is an eyeball planet. If you look at it from space, it looks like a white icy ball with a huge blue iris in the middle. There is no terrain. There is water. The depth of this ocean could reach hundreds of kilometers. For comparison, the Mariana Trench is only 11 kilometers. There is no bottom in the usual sense. At depth, water under monstrous pressure turns into exotic ice, Ice 7, which is hot and hard as metal. This is the perfect place for marine life. The surface water temperature is a comfortable 20 degrees Celsius. No fire, no metalworking technology. A civilization there, if one exists, will never build a radio or fly into space, because you can't start a fire underwater to smelt ore. But biological diversity, it could be off the charts. Huge leviathans swimming in the endless blue, coral colonies the size of cities, creatures communicating with color and sound over huge distances. This could be a planet ruled by intelligent octopuses. And the coolest part, water is great protection against star flares. This is probably the safest bunker on our list. And finally, number 5. A planet that is unfairly overlooked. Ross 128b. It's only 11 light-years away, and it is Proxima's main competitor. 1.35 Earth masses. Why do I call it a safe haven? Because its star, Ross 128, is a very calm red dwarf. Unlike the manic Proxima, this star behaves itself. It doesn't spit out killer flares. It rotates slowly. Its magnetic field is stable. The planet gets about 38% more light than Earth. That's a bit much. It's tropical, but if it has clouds, clouds are the main wild card. If the atmosphere is dense and bright, it reflects the excess heat. Then Ross 128b is a resort planet. The temperature could be moderate, around 20 to 25 degrees across the entire illuminated zone. Terrain. We don't know the composition, but by density, it's rock and iron. Most likely, there are no tectonic plates like on Earth. That means the carbon cycle might be broken. Mountains, there are old volcanoes, smoothed by time. There could be many rivers flowing from the icy side to the hot side, evaporating and raining back down. If we're going to look for life near us, this is the place. The calm star gave evolution billions of years of a head start. Life here doesn't need to hide under rocks or underwater. It could be everywhere. Red vegetation again, due to the star's spectrum. But animals, with slightly higher gravity and a stable climate, the metabolism of local creatures might be slow. It's the planet of the sloths. Why rush if the sun never sets? A world without aggression. A world of eternal peace. We found 6,000 worlds. We gave them numbers. We calculated their mass. We even guessed the color of their sky. But the more we look through telescopes, the clearer one terrifying and magnificent truth becomes. We are looking for a mirror. We want to find a second Earth to see ourselves there. But the universe doesn't do copies. It creates unique works of art. An eyeball planet, a planet of eternal storm, a planet of black forests, a planet where your own weight crushes you. None of these planets is Earth 2.0, but our Earth, with its day and night cycle, with its moon, with its boring yellow sun and moderate gravity, is an incredibly rare jackpot. We won the cosmic lottery. Maybe, somewhere out there on Ross 128b, someone is looking with a huge black eye toward our dim sun and thinking, it must be terrible there. The planet spins like a top. The light blinds your eyes, and gravity is so weak, the wind would blow you away. We are aliens to them just as much as they are to us. And that is beautiful. This is Space Unlocked. See you soon.